Om Namah
Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande
Vande Guru
Guru-Paramparam.
Paramparam.
Om
Om
Sahanavavatu
Sahanavatu
Sahanavunaktu
Sahanau Bhunaktu
Sahaviryam
Sahaviryam
Karvavahai
Karavavai
Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma
Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma
Vidvishavahai.
Vidvishavahai.
Om
Om
Shanti
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 Shanti.
Shanti. So continuing where we left off, we are on the 17th verse of chapter 15. So we'll chant. Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Bhagavanuvacha
Uttamah Purushastvanyah
उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः
Paramatmetyudharatah
परमात्मेत्युदाहरतः
Yo Lokatrayamavishya
यो
Yo
लोकत्रयमाविश्य
लोकत्रयमाविश्य
Vivartavyaya Ishwarah.
बिभर्त्यय ईश्वरः
बिभर्त्यय ईश्वरः.
So, Uttama Purushaha tu Anyaha. So now he has talked about the two Anatma parts of it. And now he's talking about one Purusha which is different. So he says Anyaha, this is different from those two which we have talked about before. And what is that? Uttama Purushaha, the Uttama Purushaha. And this Uttama Purusha is who? Paramatma Udharataha iti. This Uttama Purushaha is also called the Paramatma. What is its nature? Yaha Avishya. And you have to pick up the Lokatrayam from below and say Yaha Avishya Lokatrayam. This Uttama Purushaha, he pervades Avishya, the three worlds, and again Lokatrayam Vivarti. He sustains the three worlds also by pervading. And who is he? Avyayaha Ishvaraha, the unchanging Ishvara he is. So, Anyaha. Anyaha means there is something else. Something other than what? Other than the two Purushas we discussed before. What were the two Purushas?
Shara and Akshara.
Shara and Akshara.
Sharaha and Akshara. So, Anyaha, Sharaha, Akshara, Purushaha. There is the third Purusha which is different from the Sharaha and Akshara, both of which are material, both of which are Anatma only. And so Shankara writes, Anyaha means Abhyam Atyanta Vilakshanaha. Shankara's choice of words, Atyanta Vilakshanaha, completely different from what Abhyam. Abhyam refers to those two, Sharaha and Aksharaha. So different in every single respect. Vikaraha, Nirvikaraha, Chaitanyam, Jadaha, all pervading, not pervading, and so on and so on. Right? And Uttamaha. What is Uttamaha? Utkrishtatamaha. Utkrishtatamaha, which is the most superior principle. And how? Paramascha asau dehadi avidya kritatmabhya. Avidya kritatmaha. These are the products of avidya. Avidya kritatmaha means the nature of having been produced by avidya, by mula vidya. And paramascha, this anyaha, this uttama purushaha, is paramascha, is superior to asau deha adi, to these three to the bodies, etc., which are what? Avidya krita atma, which are product of avidya. So you can take it as the three bodies, or you can take it as the panchakoshas, or deha portion. So it is that which is different from anatma. And what is its real nature? Shankara writes, Sarvabhutanam Atma Pratyat Chetanaha. It is that Atma which is Pratyak Chetana, the innermost consciousness of Sarvabhutana, of all beings. And that consciousness principle is called Paramatma. How do we know? Vedanteshu Uktaha. Vedanta says so. Shastra says. And Lokatrayam Avishya. What is Lokatrayam? Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha. Right? So all the three words. And in this context, we have to take Lokatrayam as Shara Purushaha and Akshara Purushaha. So Vyaktamaya and Avyaktamaya, we have to take it as. So that it pervades all this. It pervades that Uttama Purusha, pervades Vyaktamaya, pervades Avyaktamaya. Therefore, it is the very essence of Shara and Akshara Purusha also. You can, of course, take it as the three universes, Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti. And Avishya means entering, pervading. Right? Pervading as what? As the very consciousness and existence principle. So that is a very important idea. Whenever you say that Ishvara pervades means what? It lends existence as the existence principle and the consciousness principle and Bibharti. Bibharti is dharayati, sustains. Right? Now Shankara here thinks that the usage of the word Bibharti, which actually means dharayati. Bibharti is a verb, okay? Dharayati, sustains. And when you use a verb, you might get an idea that you are saying that Ishvara, the Uttama Purushaha, sustains. So you might be saying that.
गोल वाला लगाया हुआ है चार्जिंग पे.
Please unmute yourself. Please mute yourself, everybody. Okay. So Ishvara sustains. And when you use the word Ishvara sustains, Shankara thinks that maybe we will get the idea that Ishvara is doing something because sustain is a word. And therefore he says that Swarupa Sadbhava Matrena. It sustains by its very nature, by its very presence alone, as the existence principle, right? Very fact that it is the existence principle, that itself means that it sustains. There is nothing that it does. It is very nature of the Purushaha, Uttam Purushaha, is to sustain. Like we say that gold lends existence to the bangle. Or you say gold sustains the bangle. Gold is not doing anything. But the very fact that it is gold and it is pervading the ornament, that means the ornament cannot exist without the gold. And that's what it means. Okay. Shankara gives a very detailed commentary on all the words. Avyayaha. Yeah. Avyayaha is what? Na asya vyayaha. Na asya vyayaha vidyate iti avyayaha. That in which no change is ever possible. Vyayaha. Vyayaha is change. And therefore, avyayaha, that in which no change is possible, that is called the Ishvara, changeless Ishvara. And who is the Ishvara? So, Sarvagnya Narayana Akhyaha, that omniscient one, Sarvagnya, that all-knowing one, who is called Narayana. And Shankara writes, Ishana Shilaha. Right? So, Ishana Shilaha is, you have to look at Madhusudana Saraswati. He says Ishana Shilaha means by nature he is the Ishaha. Right? Shilaha is a habit. So Ishana Shilaha, by its very nature, that Ishvara is the Ishaha. He is the Lord. And if you look at the Gita Press commentary, your Gita Press translates as the ruler of all. But the closest to the word meaning is that Ishana Shilaha, the one who is by nature, he is the ruler. Because of his very nature, he has to be the ruler. He has to be the Lord. And therefore, we can take that as Maya, he is the material cause. So in English, we use the word immanent. Immanent means present in everything, pervades everything. So as Ishvara, he is immanent, pervading everything as a material cause. As Brahman, he transcends. So very nice definition. That Ishvara, he pervades and transcends. He is immanent and transcending, transcendental. How? As Maya, as the material cause, he is, that Ishvara is present in the entire universe. There is nothing in the universe in which Maya is not there. So as Maya, he is immanent, but Maya is mithya. So as Brahman, he transcends. He lends Sat and Chit. He lends existence and consciousness to the entire world. Therefore, he is the controller. Very, very beautiful verse. Now we look at the next verse, it's number 18. Yasmadaksharamatitoham
यस्मादक्षरमतीतोऽहम्
aksharaadapi chottamaha
अक्षरादपि
अक्षरादपि
चोत्तमः
चोत्तमः
atosmi loke vede cha
अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च
pratithah purushottamah.
प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः
Okay. So yasmat aham ksharam atitah. So you have to pick carefully. Yasmat aham ksharam atitah. Since I transcend, I am beyond the Shara Purushaha. That is one part. And Aksharat Uttamah Apicha. So you look at the words Aksharat Api Chottamaha. You break it up into Aksharat Uttamaha Apicha. So I am also above Uttamaha. I am superior to the Akshara Purushaha. Because of these two reasons. What are they? One is Yasmat Aham Charamatitaha. I am beyond the Charapurushaha. Aksharat Uttamaha cha. I am above, superior to the Akshara Purushaha. Ataha. That is the reason. Purushottamaha Asmi Pratitaha. I am known, I am well known, Pratitaha, as the Uttama Purushaha. Purushottamaha. Loke cha Vede. That word Purushottamaha. I am known as Purushottamaha. Loki in all the worlds, also Vede in the Vedas also. Okay. So when you say Yasmat Ksharam Atitaha, what does it mean? So Shankara writes, Aham, each word is very, very important. Therefore, I am giving Shankara's commentary here. Aham Samsara Maya Vriksham. Which is what? What is the definition? What is the name given to the samsara maya vriksham?
Ashwatha.
Ashwatha. Ashwatha. Right. So aham samsara maya vriksham ashwatha. Atikrantaha. I am superior. I go beyond that samsara tree. Right. Atitaha. Atikrantaha. Gone beyond. Not only that, akshara samsara maya rupa vriksha bija bhutaha. So Sharam is described as Samsara Maya Vriksham. It's a very nice distinction. Kshara Purusha is what? Samsara Maya Vriksham. It is the tree of Samsara. And Aksharam is what? Samsara Maya Rupa Vriksha Bija Bhutaha. It is the seed of the Samsara tree, which is what? Maya Rupa, in the form of Maya. So here, Akshara is the very seed of the samsara. So Sharam is Vyaktamaya. What is the seed of that Vyaktamaya? What is the potential form of that Vyaktamaya? It is Avyaktamaya. Therefore, Akshara is Avyaktamaya. In short, I am superior to both Vyaktamaya and Avyaktamaya. And Ataha, therefore alone, Purushottamaha Asmi Praditaha. I am known as Purushottamaha. Right? And all devotees, Shankara says, all devotees, they know me as Purushottamaha, both in this world as well as in the scriptures. And that is the reason I am called Purushottama. And of course, that is the reason why this chapter is known as Purushottama Yoga. Now, in his introduction to the next verse, Shankara writes that what is the consequence for one who has understood Purushottama in this manner, which manner in which he has been described, beyond Shara and superior to Akshara. Shankara says the phalam is twofold. The consequence is twofold. By knowing that one Brahman, everything becomes known. And therefore, the Jnani becomes the greatest Bhakta. This is the introduction. So we will read the 19th verse. Yo mamevamasammudaha
Yo
Yo
mameva
mamevasamudhaः
janati purushottamam
janati purushottamam
sarvavid bhajati mam
sa sarvavid bhajati mam
sarvabhavena bharata.
Sarvabhavena Bharata.
What is the jnana phala of this jnana? Saha yaha evam mam janati. The one who knows me in this manner. In which manner? As described in the earlier mantra. Asammudaha. He is not a mudaha. He is beyond delusion. And Purushottama Sarvavitaha. Purushottama is the knower of everything. In that manner he knows me. And Mam Sarva Bhavena Bhajati. He worships me with all his heart, all his being. Hey Arjuna. So the person who has known me in this manner is not a deluded person. And therefore he knows me as Purushottamaha, who is the Sarvagnaha. And therefore he worships me with all his heart. So the first line is Yo Mam Eva Sammudaha Janati Purushottamam. Shankara gives a very beautiful commentary on each of these. Yaha. Yo is Yaha. Who is that Yaha? That person, that student. Mam. Mam means me. Who is this me? Ishwaram Sanjanati, who knows me as Ishvara. How? Yathokta Visheshana, as described in the 17th sloka and the 18th sloka. Evam. That evam is Yathokta Visheshana, as described in that manner only. So Yathoktena Prakarena, exactly in that manner. That person is who? Asammudaha. Asammudaha, Shankara says, Samhoha Varjitaha, without any confusion at all. And how does he know me? Sanjanati ayam aham asmi iti. Purushottamaha. I am that Uttama Purushaha, he knows. And Lord Krishna adds, Lord Krishna does not say, sorry. But Shankaracharya adds that this knowledge is complete only when that Brahman is understood as Ayam Aham Asmi. So this commentary is, this line is not a commentary on any of the words uttered by Lord Krishna. But Shankara says that Janati san Ayam Aham Asmi iti Purushottamaha. That I am that Uttama Purusha he knows. So this I refers to the sadhaka. So having understood that Uttama Purusha is the entire universe, is Sarvagnaha. So Shankara says that this knowledge is not complete unless you understood that Aham Asmi, I am Brahman. That Brahman I am. Without the words Aham Asmi in your mind, remember it is Paroksha Jnanam. Paroksha Jnanam does not give moksha. Only Aparoksha Jnanam gives moksha. So this commentary is a very beautiful commentary. It is not enough to understand the Lord. It is necessary to understand that you are the Lord. Without that understanding, There will never be any moksha. It will remain as, some formal knowledge, information only. Then the second line is Sa Sarvavid Bhajati Maam Sarvabhavena Bharata. So Sarvavid means he knows that everything is I. Sarva Atma Bhava it is called. Sarvatmana Sarvavetti Iti. Sarvatmana Sarvam Vetti Iti. The one who knows everything I am alone, that person, Sa Sarvabhavena Mam Bhajati. Right? So Shankara writes that this has to be understood. Literally, it means that he worships me with all his being. Sa Sarvabhavena Mam Bhajati. He worships me with all his being. But you have to understand as what? He worships me as Sarva Bhutastam Bhajati. The one who is present in everyone and everything. That Atma, which is present in everyone and everything, including himself. He worships me in that manner. And because he knows that Uttama Purusha is everything, therefore only Sarvabhavena. He will worship me in totality. And Shankara writes over here, because Shankara is thinking that this is basically jnana. So why are we talking about worship? Shankara wants to tell us that it is not upasana. So he said, Sarvatma Chittataya. This Sarvatma worship is only in the form of chitta, the thoughts. What are thoughts? Jnana. Therefore, the idea that Ishvara is in the form of Atma in everyone, and I am that Ishvara, that is what Nididhyasanam alone. That is what is being taught. And now we come to the last verse of this particular chapter. We will chant. Iti guhyatamam shastram
Iti
इति
गुह्यतमं
गुह्यतमं
शास्त्रम्
शास्त्रम्
idamuktam maya nakha
इदमुक्तं मया
नानघ
etat budhva buddhiman syat
एतत् बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात्
कृतकृत्यश्च भारत
कृतकृत्यश्च
भारत
भारत
ॐ तत्सत्
ॐ तत्सत्
इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायाम्
इति
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु
उपनिषत्सु
उपनिषत्सु
ब्रह्मविद्यायाम्
ब्रह्मविद्यायाम्
योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे
योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे
पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः
पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम
दशोऽध्यायः
दशोऽध्यायः
So, hey Anaga. Where is that? Maya Anagaha. Hey Anaga. O person, O Arjuna, who is sinless one, without any papa. So what has happened now? Iti idam guhyatamam shastram. In this manner, idam guhyatamam shastram, this most secret teaching. Guhyam is secret. Guhyatamam, most secret. Idam guhyatamam shastram, this most secret teaching, maya uktaha, has been given to you by me. And etat budhva, having known this, buddhiman syat, a person becomes a buddhiman, a wise person. And not only that, cha kritakrityaha. Kritakrityaha is a person who has done everything that is to be done in this life. He need not do anything more. So kritakrityaha, hey Bharata, oh Arjuna, this most secret teaching I have given you. And normally, Arjuna, when somebody receives the teaching, he becomes wise and he doesn't have any more desires, any more things to do. Okay. Now, idam shastram. There is a question. idam shastram. Does it mean Bhagavad Gita as a whole, or doesn't mean chapter 15 only?
No,
That's a
no.
question you can ask, right? What should be the
The
answer?
whole, the Gita as a whole. Because
Why
he talked
does
about it in that earlier chapter, in 13th chapter, as well as second chapter.
why does he say this in the 15th chapter, not at the end of the 18th chapter?
Because this is where he's elaborating, I guess.
So Shankara says, Sarvo hi Gita Shastrarthaha. All the ideas in the Gita Shastram. Asmin Adhyaye Samasena Uktaha. Samasa means what? Samasena means in a very brief form. Asmin Adhyaye. In this chapter, the entire Gita Shastram so far has been presented in a very brief manner. And Shankara adds, Na kevalam Gita Shastra Artha eva. Not just the essential meaning of the Gita Shastra. Kintu, but Sarvascha Veda Arthaha Iha Parisamaptaha. All the essence of all the Vedas, Sarvascha Veda Arthaha Iha Parisamaptaha, end over here, are included in this particular chapter. Right? How can Shankaracharya say that? So you have to remember in this very same chapter, Krishna has said so, where this is where Shankaracharya's commentaries become very beautifully relevant. Yastam Vedasa Vedavit. Where does it come? First verse of this very same chapter. And Vedaischa Sarvai Rameva Vedyaha. The 15th verse, which we did in the last class. Therefore, this chapter is a very glorious chapter because it includes not just the summary of the Gita, but it includes summary of the Vedas also. And Idam Muktaha has been taught by me, Hey Anagaha. Anagaha means the one without papam, which means with Shraddha and Bhakti. Right? So, in the context of studying the scriptures, not having Shraddha and not having Bhakti is considered papam, is considered impurity. So, Hey Anagaha, the one who has faith in me as a teacher and Shraddha in the scriptures. Etat Shastram Buddha Buddhiman Syat Bhavet. Once a person has been explained this particular teaching, then he is a jnani. And Shankara adds, na anyatha, not otherwise. If you have not understood the teaching, it has not been explained to you, you are not a jnani. And what is the benefit? Kritakrityaha. So Kritakrityaha we came across earlier also. Which chapter? Same meaning. The one who has done all that is required to be done. Fourth chapter, which was very, very famous verse. Come on, guys.
Sarji 18.
18. Krishna Karma Krit. The one who has done everything that is required to be done. And Shankara says, only by acquiring this jnanam can you get the status of Kritakrityaha. Otherwise, if you don't get this Kritakrityaha status, what will happen? You will enter the Punarjanma cycle. You will come along with another set of duties. And therefore, you can be said to have completed all your duties only if you have ended the Punarjanma cycle. It's a very beautiful explanation for that. Who is the Kritakrityaha? The one who has ended all future duties by becoming a Jnani, by knowing that he is not the Karta. And Krishna has said this earlier also. Sarvam karmakhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Fourth chapter. Okay. Now, with this, the teaching is over. But there is a question which I was asked long ago in a TTC class. So I will ask that question to you. What happens if I become a jnani? I have successfully completed Nididhyasanam. I know I am Brahman, but I still am in this world, right? So if I walk across the road tomorrow and I get knocked down by a car and I go into a coma, what happens? Will I have rebirth?
Yes.
Acharyaji, if you're completely assimilated in the teaching, and what is knockdown? Knockdown is anatma. So there's no question of
Specific.
rebirth. So knockdown is the Shariratrayam, and the rebirth is also for Shariratrayam, but I'm completely assimilated that I'm Brahman. So there's no question of a rebirth.
Very good. So if you have completed assimilation, what you have done is discarded kartritva. If you are not the karta, you are not the body also. The atma doesn't go into coma, right? It is the body mind which goes into coma. Even if you go into coma, your body will stay alive purely till prarabdha is complete. Remember the jiva in inverted commas does not remain after moksha. The jiva is cremated before your body is cremated. What is the cremation of the jiva?
Brahmasmi knowledge when it is.
Vyashti is not different from Samashti.
No. Your jiva has been cremated in the fire of your jnana. Right? And therefore it's like, the willpower is the main idea in the jiva, right? That willpower which is used to do various things in life. As a jiva, you have the willpower. So as a jnani, do you have willpower?
Yes.
That's a very deep question, actually.
Will, so where is the question of having willpower?
Will comes with identification.
With identification. So that is why they say that when you become a jnani, your willpower aligns with Ishvara's willpower. Which means you no longer do things for yourself. That is why you say for the Loka Sangraha. Because Ishvara works for Loka Sangraha, you will also thereafter work for Loka Sangraha. Therefore, if at all your willpower, it's like, it's not a very great example, but I'll use it. When a body is put in the cremation fire, there is that, a stick which is used, which is first lit, right? I don't know what it's called. There's one stick which is lit first. You put some kerosene and some cloth on the stick and you burn the stick and then you light the cremation wood, right? No longer relevant because there are electric crematoriums, but this is the old example. And that stick is also used for other things as long as the body is burning. What is that? You guys have not seen a body burn. Sad. Nobody has seen a cremation.
No,
Yes, I've
They
seen.
will lit
is
up
it
the
for
field.
the skull that they?
At the
Yeah.
head, that skull is broken.
Yeah.
No. When the body burns, it has to be adjusted. So you take the stick and adjust the body so that burning is.
Yeah.
And finally, what do you do with the stick?
They'll throw it in the same fire.
You throw it in the same fire. The jnani's willpower is like that. It is used to adjust your life over here after jnana. But the willpower goes into the same jnana. So everything that happens to you after jnanam is not willpower, it is prarabdha only. Okay. Then second question. Now that Arjuna has heard all these, what you call, teachings from me. Have you become a Kritartha? So Shankara writes in his commentary, which Krishna has not said. He says, yes, since Arjuna has listened to the highest teaching from me, from Krishna, ataha kritartha tvam bharata, you also are kritartha, hey Arjuna. That is Shankara's line. Incidentally, is that borne out in the war?
Because he's so much attached,
Not
Moha.
borne out in the war. Anyway, that's a different story. So with this, we will end for today. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Sat Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank
Om
you.
Namah Shivaya.
Now I just want to ask, since this is a very, very important